Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the Week Ahead Report. This is a report where we discuss what are the main themes for the week and what's coming out, and also what economic data is coming out, also what we think about some of these markets. Obviously a crucial week, particularly as people start to work out what's happening in Europe and also what's happening in the States in terms of the economic stimulus package coming to an end. So quite an important thing. We've got a little bit of data, not a jam-packed week, but got enough data to give us a bit of a view as to what's happening out there in market land. I guess the most important thing, first of all, is have a little bit of a recap as to what happened on the weekend. Dow Jones closed down 100 points at 12,595. The S&P's down 10, the Nasdaq's down 34, and top 50, Europe's down 22 at 2,894. FTSE's down 19. The DAX was down 40, and local market's still quite weak. Local market down 35 at 4,678. So a little bit negative there in terms of what's happening there in equity markets. We probably expect that all to continue again, and we'll probably our local market to end a little bit lower. On the currencies, as you can see, everything's still weak. The euro's at 140.75, the pound 161.80, dollar yen 80.95, and the Aussie 105.64. Still under pressure there. In fact, breaking new lows on that Aussie. Dollar CAD 96.97, and the dollar Swiss 89.35. Okay, let's just have a look at dollar index. I think that's probably the key. 76.07, and you can see by the chart what's actually happening there. Very strong move, and it is, as we've mentioned in the last reports, that dollar remains relatively well bid. I probably expect that to continue on into the week. It looks like a very strong move. Just have a look at this daily chart in the dollar index, and you can see that that it's looking ready to bounce out the top side. It could be as a result of the demise of what's happening in the US, what's happening in Europe, and that could actually move on. Good price to think about it. Commodity prices themselves are coming under pressure, and as a result of that, I probably expect commodity prices to remain relatively weak. Let's just have a look at some of the commodities, particularly gold. Gold's already down 6 and a bit, still consolidating from that move, but I think if it takes out that old low we had, which is around that 1465, it is a little bit of a concern for me. I think we've got a small long at the moment there. A little bit of volatility certainly sent us a little bit of fray last week where we're actually towards the close, long and short. But in hindsight, let's just see how that unfolds. Looking at crude oil 98.83, that's opened up down. And remember, we've got EIA out towards the close of this week. It is at the lower end of its range, and I guess my expectations there is just to see what economic data is telling us in terms of recovery and see what actually is occurring. We do expect to see more builds. Whilst we get those builds, things remain under pressure. Copper had a good night last night, and it looks like it's found intermediate low here, although the trend, I've been negative copper for quite some time. Actually, the trend is holding up quite nicely, and I think the fact that we did get that little spike lower, in my mind, just suggests, here we go, just this one here, 385, suggests that there's good support at that level at the moment. So copper maybe to find a little bit of support here. Obviously taking out that, then down she does fair. Okay, looking at the local market, obviously down 35 points, and probably expect that to continue. And it's at 4,676. As you can see, I probably expect it to find support around this 4,600 level now. It's taken out those old lows. That to me is important. Where we actually, this is interesting. We did just get some very good divergence here, which was very supportive, but it was sold into. So this is one example where the diverging markets didn't actually work out. Well, at the moment it appears that they haven't worked out. Okay, right, so that's pretty much about it on that front. Let's have a quick look at natural gas, because I know we've still got warrants on that. And when I look at that daily chart, probably still indicate to me that it's just still consolidating. It does get that chance to move higher, but then she just comes under pressure quite quickly, and then off we go. And but this formation I still tend to like, so just stick with it. Okay, so that's on that. Now let's get into the economic calendar. As I mentioned this week, it is quite interesting in terms of what we do have coming out, and the economic calendar in that just coming up now. I guess the key for me is leading indicators towards the end of the week, where we do have some data, but in Australia we've got a little bit. New vehicle motor sales today, home loans investment, pretty important here for Australia. CPI in the euro, which I think will be a good one. In fact, CPI a lot of places around the world. States got Empire Manufacturing as well. I guess the Tuesday Reserve Bank board minutes, that'll be widely watched, and CPI in the UK, probably expect to see a lift. Interested to see if this theme just continues to be positive in terms of what we're looking at, but the inflationary, because that might actually support gold. Okay, building permits, housing starts in the States, industrial production, capacity utilisation, all pretty important there on those for Tuesday night. And Wednesday, Westpac consumer confidence, wages, and I think that's pretty much about it, except we've got FOMC minutes coming out on Wednesday, which will be quite important. Leading into Thursday, the most important stuff, IPR capacity out of Japan, in the States, initial jobless claims, all the other bits and pieces there, and obviously the Fed doing a lot of persuasion, so they're certainly out there. Now this all leads into what we do have on Friday night, and obviously on Friday we've got leading indicators, which is, no, sorry, Thursday's leading indicators in the States. Friday we don't have too much at all in the States actually. I'll just check that, here we go. Yeah, there we go, existing home sales, leading indicators, EIA, and obviously the Fed, so quite a bit coming from there. Well, that's, I guess, about it from me in terms of themes. Pretty hard, the volatility is knocking us around a bit, but I'd expect to get some good trends coming up. Let's see what Europe does, let's see the lead from Europe, and after that lead from Europe, let's see what the States does in terms of the roll-off of those stimulus packages. That's about it from me. Hope everyone has a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.